Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be doing a video about 7 things that I wish I knew before nursing school. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, I like, and I hope you subscribe. Alright, so my first semester of nursing school was last semester, and if you watch my previous video, I did not pass, unfortunately, but I feel like that there was a few things that I wish I would have known before I started, and I feel like that would have benefited me a little bit more. And I am sharing these tips with you so that if you're starting nursing school, or even if you are in nursing school right now, that hopefully some of these tips will help and guide you through so that you're not finding out at the last minute and potentially failing a class because of these tips that you didn't know. So the first thing that I wish I would have known, and if you see me looking down, I'm looking at my notes. I'm not one to really remember everything right off the bat, so sometimes I just have to jot down a little bit of notes to remember. So the first thing I wish I would have known is the time commitment to nursing school. And you're thinking, of course, there's a time commitment. It's school. You're going to be studying. This is a little different because when I was in my prerequisites, it was like I was studying a little bit and I was still able to pass the class with an A or B. This is totally different. Nursing school, you're going to be missing out on a lot of family and friends events. That's just a sacrifice you have to make. And I've had several of fellow nurses tell me that they also had to make this sacrifice. It's just too much material and too little time for you to grasp if you are also trying to be a social butterfly. You want to go to this birthday party, if you want to go hang out with your friends, if you want to go do drinks, or if you want to go to the club or things like that. Those are some things that you're just going to have to sacrifice because it's just a lot of material and you're not going to grasp the information and understand it in order to perform well on the test if you do not take that time to study. And unfortunately, I thought that I would be able to balance work and school and also hanging out with my boyfriend, hanging out with friends. And I think that was a really, it was a disadvantage to me, and I could have spent most of that time studying, and I think it would have showed and reflected more in my test grades. The second thing that I wish I would have known is the test questions. The test questions are very different from normal exams. Like if you were to take like a prerequisite exam, it would be more of memorization and them wanting you to know the information. That's not the case with nursing. Nursing, the first test, most of it, or at least a greater majority of it, may be memorization, but the more you get into the semester and the more that they are teaching you, the more that it's going to become application questions and not memorization questions. So in order for you to get the points for these questions, you have to know the material, understand the material, and be able to apply it to any situation that they give you. That's a little bit difficult if you're studying to memorize and not studying to understand. And I was studying to memorize thinking that that would basically get me, make me be able to understand what they're asking in the question and be able to answer it correctly. But if I don't know how to apply the information, those are points lost. The third thing is study buddies. I wish I would have known how important it is to find just not even a group of people, just a few people, 1 or 2 people to study with. I did not get with a group, and I tried to do it by myself, and I realized that it is more beneficial to grab one or two people and be able to study with those people and be able to bounce ideas off of each other, because somebody may see something that you don't see. They may have seen a question and can take it from a different perspective and give you a new way to look at it. I know that sometimes I was looking at a question wrong and I did not understand what they were asking or how they wanted me to answer the question. And I know that after the test, I discussed it with one of my girls, and she said, "Oh, well, this is how I looked at it." And I was like, that makes sense. I wish I would have been partaking more into group studying or even partner studying beforehand, because I think I could have gotten a lot of points from that. And again, it would have reflected in my grades. Another thing is clinical versus theory. Clinical part is the hands-on part. This is the part where you're going into nursing homes or into the hospitals, and you're actually getting to work with patients and put what you're learning into practice. Of course, the first semester you're not going to be doing a lot of stuff. You're going to be taking vitals. You're going to be doing a head-to-toe assessment on the patient. You're going to be like doing little small errands, like if they need water, if they need to be put on the bedpan, if they need to be cleaned up, if the bed needs to be changed, if they need a bath, just things like that. And of course, the PCTs are there to help and assist you, but this is your patient and you want to learn how to do these things, because nursing is not just giving meds, giving shots, looking at the patient, trying to help the patient stay comfortable and things like that. It's also doing the dirty work and changing beds. It's oh my God, my patient had an accident. I have to be the one to clean them, and change the bed and do things like that, bathe them. So, and of course, you'll always have PCTs there in clinicals. Ask them questions. Ask them, hey, where's the linen closet? Hey, where do I put the soiled linens and things like that? But you need to know how to do this, because when you're a nurse, you can't always expect other people to take care of your patient, especially because PCTs, the clinical that I was at, there was 2 PCTs for the whole floor, and one took one side and one took the other side of the floor. So they had a lot of patients to take care of. So it wasn't like that they could stop what they're doing to come and help your patient if they're already tending to another patient. So that becomes now your responsibility, because as the nurse, you're ultimately responsible for anything that happens to that patient, whether you're in the room or not, whether you're aware of it or not. So you need to always know what's going on with your patient and start at the bottom and learn everything, so that when that time comes and you have to do that and your patient needs that, you'll be able to do it. Let's see. Okay, so theory is the part of the class. This is the lecture part of the class. And theory, this is what I've learned. People who do well in theory sometimes struggle in clinical. People who do well in clinical sometimes struggle in theory. It's not everybody, but that is kind of what I've been seeing through my experience. I felt I did really well at clinical, but clinical is real world experience and theory is on paper. Sometimes things happen in the real world that paper is telling you to do it a different way. So if you have like 3 patients and theory is telling you which one do you see first, they're giving you a scenario saying this person has this wrong with them, this person has that wrong with them, this person has this wrong with them. Sometimes in clinical, in real world experience, you can tend to somebody and have like a fellow nurse tend to somebody else. But in theory, you're the only person there, so they want to know who you deem as priority. So it's kind of a bit weird that you would have to change your thinking from clinical to theory. And it's something that I struggled with, because theory is, you're there. Who's the priority? What are you doing first? Clinical is, hey, how do we make the patient the safest? Do you need help? And how do you get help? So the reason why I struggled with theory is because I couldn't change my thinking and answer the questions the way that they wanted me to. I read too much into the question, which is something that they tell you not to do. But it's kind of hard not to read into the question when you don't know necessarily how to think like a nurse. So you're thinking about like somebody who is afraid of getting the wrong answer. So you look at all the possibilities and end up still choosing the wrong answer. So you just have to, the one thing that I learned about that is answer questions. Find NCLEX style questions about the topic that you're on and answer a ton of them. Like, when I say a ton, I mean my clinical instructor told us that in her 2 years of her RN, she answered a few thousand questions. And that's how she was able to master the questions on the test. So that's something that I'm going to be changing this semester, this time around. I'll be answering more questions to get more familiar with what they want and how they want you to answer the questions, just so that when the test comes around, I know exactly what they're asking and I can give them a suitable answer and a correct answer, instead of reading too much into it and fumbling around with, oh, but this, oh, but that. I'll know. Okay, so this is the answer I should be looking for. Find the answer and select it. So one other thing that I wish I would have known is how fast-paced it is. I didn't realize that these 2 years would be so fast-paced. And this is what I mean. We're going from little to no knowledge of nursing to being able to save somebody's life and keep them alive. That's a lot to learn in 2 years. Because thinking about all of the body systems, thinking about all the drugs, thinking about all the ways things can go wrong and how to direct them in the right manner so that it doesn't further complicate the situation. So I wasn't expecting how fast paced it was. And half of the time I really felt like they were giving us like the foundation, and we had to use all the material and resources that were available to us to build on top of that to be able to correctly answer the exam questions. So just being in lecture would not get you a passing grade on this exam. You would have to literally study to understand, do questions to understand how the questions are structured and how to answer the questions, and then you have to take other resources if you don't understand a piece of the lecture. Either go see the instructor, go to Khan Academy online, do registered nurse RN, like take other resources and don't just come to class and expect to pass these tests that way. So this was a real eye-opener and a real shock for me, because I'm used to just coming to class and understanding the information, going home, doing a little bit of homework, a little bit of studying, and being able to pass with a decent grade on these exams. So that was one thing that I really wish that I had knowledge of before going in. The sixth thing is that my college, our minimum score of passing is a 77. Now, I know what you're thinking. 77. That's a what? A C plus? That's doable, right? But again, taking into effect how hard these questions are and how different they are. I wouldn't say how hard, but how different they are from normal exams that you've been taking, literally the first what, first through 12th grade, and your prerequisite courses, they're structured very differently. So, and each question is worth 2 points. So if you miss one question, that's 2 points right there. That's 2 points. And you're thinking 2 points is not a lot, but when you understand only half of the material and you understand only half of the questions, that's a 50 right there. And now you're struggling to get 27 more points or 28 more points to make up for what you didn't understand. And that's hard to do, especially when you have some select all that apply and you get one thing wrong and the whole question's wrong. They don't do partial credit. So a C, that's doable. But in nursing, it's more challenging to get a C and be able to pass. So a C in prerequisites and a C in nursing are very different. Very different. And I didn't realize that this is gonna be challenging to get that C. I was thinking 77. Oh, that's not bad. That's just a C. That's just a C. It's not just a C. That's passing or failing. Because there is no D's, there is no C minuses. It's you either get the 77 or you get the 76.5 or you just don't move on. And then you end up, if that's like say if that's the first you fail the first exam, that's extra points that you have to make up down the line. And because it's so hard for you to get that 77 starting off brand new in nursing school, that's more challenging and more stress and more pressure on you to make up those points. So that's one thing that I really wish I would have known also. And the final thing that I wish I would have known, number 7, is not to discuss my exam grades with friends. And this is something that we're all known to do. Be like, hey, what'd you get on the test? Be like, I got an 80. Oh, well, I got an 82. Because these tests are so hard, when you start swapping grades, you start to get discouraged in yourself. Really discouraged in yourself. I felt really down when I realized that somebody had gotten a better grade than me, and I felt like I had put in more work than they had. Of course, you don't know what's going on behind the scenes in another person's home, what they're doing to get these grades and things like that. But I did genuinely feel like I studied more than this person, and I was more prepared for class than this person, and this person got such a better grade than I did, and that really discouraged me so much. And I really wish that I had never started sharing grades at all, because I feel like these grades don't determine what kind of nurse you're going to be after school. Like, I've known some nurses who struggled to get by in nursing school, and they're some of the best nurses who do everything and go above and beyond for their patients. So I understand that right now grades are important, but I don't think I should discuss them in a way that basically I'm using them to determine my character and my care for my patients. Because like I said, in clinicals, I excelled. And I don't believe that me failing the theory portion is an indication that I'm not going to be a good nurse. So, but anyway, thank you guys for watching. Again, if you like, comment, and subscribe, that will be awesome. And stay tuned, because I'm going to be shooting a lot more videos for you guys, nursing related. And I actually start my first semester, take 2, next week, and I'll be taking you guys to clinicals with me, showing you as much as I can. Probably showing you my day in the hospital again with HIPAA and things like that. I'm gonna show you as much as I can. I'm probably gonna like do a little few clips and just tell you about what's happening, things like that, and I'll take you along my journey. So this is semester 1 of 4. Wish me luck. Bye guys.